to ancient history to bring it in today's atmosphere so that we can walk in the light of life according to our Creator. And we're not for my mama, for my mama. I'm my mama's son. But don't let it go, don't get it twisted. And mama do reach for her son. She got three beautiful kings. You dig? And she do reach for him, but my mama don't spoil her sons. And a lot of people got the misconception. My mama don't do that. My mama moves in righteousness. You dig? The right way, that means right rulership with the right guidance. I was sitting there like, y'all see the topic. We stick to the topic. And if you're not, you're not a Hebrew Israelite, you're a Christian or Muslim or Hindu or whatever. You're welcome to come over here and sit under this word too. It's for you too. I assure you it's for you. The Most High created us all. And just so happened, I'm going right into Genesis. Man, Genesis is a very powerful, powerful, powerful. Genesis 1. It's a very powerful chapter. It's actually a blueprint. It is the blueprint. Once you really understand what you're dealing with, you're dealing with a kingdom, right? And in the midst of this world and your pursuit of knowledge to understand, we've been taught a lot of things. But let me remind you that they were religious in nature and didn't have a thing to do with what's written, what's actually written in the Bible, family. And I know this for a fact because I studied the Bible. I studied it extensively and continue to on a daily because it's bigger than what we've been taught, family. It's not about a religion or, let me say, what I do is not about trying to make a person or a group look like anything. That's not my concern. My concern is to push this or learn, study, and to become. So there has to be, like my man Sal's, let's to outcome. You're gonna see outcome. Is what you declaring and proclaiming the truth? Will it help the people? Oh, most certainly. I know without a shadow of a doubt it's been helping us since day one. Especially us over here. It's all we ever had. But not knowing that you're the literal actual people that the book is talking about. Black man and black woman. In particular, so-called Negro. That's why your story always got a we don't know or it's been remixed or no matter what he may take you, this discipline, that discipline, in essence, they're all the disciplines that the Bible warns us about. The Greco-Roman Empire, the beast, Rome. Yes, yes. And that's who this nation follows. It follows its ancestors in every way. You look up who are the nations that came out of the Roman Empire, and you will find these nations, plain as day. So some take it and brush it off, but I take it literally because I understand the greater that's at work. The Most High is actually trying to show you something. It's not when I open a book, I'm just reading, okay, we the people, we okay, automatically shift into a religious mode. No, no, no. It's bigger than what we're going through, what we're doing now. The Most High actually made you an ambassador. We are ambassadors to the kingdom of heaven. So any complaining, that means something's out of line, something's out of order, things are not in order. Strictly from my standpoint, I can't speak for everybody else because I don't know what everybody else believe in. But as for me, I believe in the God of this book, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In that context, there's a kingdom that people act like they don't know that's here. You can see it, even though to the physical eye it's spiritual. Because why? The Most High is a spirit, and they who worship Him in spirit and in truth. Truth, and in order to really, as we pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name. We demonstrate and want to demonstrate that we operate in the eternal space, evidence being the instruction through the word that we receive. Come to know, meditate, and rest on. I believe the problem exists. That's where it lies, and that's where we can correct it. Now, if you're not one of them people, it's okay. I understand all Negroes don't proclaim who they are according to the Bible. That's not my concern. My concern is to testify of what I know through what I've proven. You dig? Then it's what I have through my eyes that I can see. That's to come forth so others can believe and get to know Him. And for me to be a catalyst, because why? You the Most High. You are the version of the Most High they waiting to see. He put a measure of Himself in you for them to see. Because why? This word is operating for real. It has a life, physical and through the subconscious mental belief. You meditate on a thing, like I always say, words have power. That's the foundation. So what I speak is not of my own, but yet it is because I am a playbook. I am a page right out of the Eternal's playbook. I am Him. And the Word became flesh because He spoke me just like all the rest of us. He spoke us into existence, man. And then he created this, what we see in the physical, to protect the essence, really, because we rejected the essence. When man fell from in the beginning through Adam, something, G. You lost that connection, yet we still have it, but you lost the power because people not operating in that power. What power is that you talking about, Wayne? The authority of what's written in that book. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I know. You know, when I'm hearing herbs and things of healing, I'll go to the Bible because that's a biblical. That's it. We're gonna learn a lot, and it can apply to anybody that apply the technique. But it's based on the kingdom. It don't got nothing to do with this world and whatever your parents taught you. More power to them. I wish them the best. But this word and that kingdom is something different. And then it's not for the weak at heart. It's not for the weak and fearful at heart because you got to understand. Like I said, you can choose to go. There's two ways you can go: the right way and righteousness, or you could choose to go your own way. Man do create his own laws. Ye are gods. You have that choice to create yourself. Yes, you do. You don't have to go according to none of that. So it's not like it's a forced thing. But the truth of the matter is, it is for those who are connected to the eternal. You know just how important this is. It's not a once a week pastime where we sit down and okay, let's open the Bible and read the Bible. No, this is your everyday instruction. You the people. You don't survive off what the rest of the world survives off of. So now that's my introduction. Let me delve in. I'm in Genesis 15. And I'm gonna read it in a way that you probably never heard it. But I'm gonna also, because what is my premise? That Genesis 15, when the Most High declares what in the end, talking about the Negroes today, y'all. That's why you see a lot of brothers and sisters running to the Bible. Oh yeah, I'm creating this print. They don't want to see your nappy head. What up, family? Oh yeah, that's when the thing jumped off in Alabama. Black people whoop ours. You did. Small town or large town. Small town or large town, we hands on, you know? We get physical like that because that's who we are. But yeah, Genesis 15. I need to go off. No, I need to make this print. I want to make me a royalty print and speak to who we are. And let's go. That boy gonna be cold blooded. I've been want to make this print, which we are royalty. We are the royal house of Judah. That's what I should make it say instead of royalty. Royal house of Judah. They'll know to royal. Yeah, do that. Where's my board at marker? Royal house of Judah. And this is gonna send a message to the world. Hmm. Mm-mm. I seen that trying to trick me. Mm-mm. You are $300 in gift cards. I'm gonna celebrate Christmas, so why would I want $300 in gift cards? No, you can run that one somewhere else. Send me the bread, I'll go put it somewhere else. Well, y'all talking about Christmas. Jeremiah 16. I ain't gonna even go there. But Genesis 15. Because this book is speaking to us, and as the people, I think you need to know. I think this is what's gonna cause that shift and change things. Change for the better. You know? Can't get no worse. Even in the midst of the worst, what are you gonna find? You're gonna find better. All things work together for the good of those who love God. I don't care who you are. All you have to do is love God and demonstrate. He said what? If you did it for the least of them, you did it for me. So while a lot of people turning their nose up on people talking about what they ain't got, and God gonna treat you, and the ones that you talking about, you don't know who you talking about. So I would be careful who I put my mouth on. Straight up, I would be careful with that. I had to learn that, but then I had to understand, learn how to use discernment. Even if you are, and you speaking in ignorance, I'm coming for the ignorance. I ain't coming from you, but I'm coming for false doctrines. You know, that's us. Front line, baby. To our gatekeepers, we crushing all that spirit. Mm-mm. You ain't gotta be a part of no special group. You gotta be plugged with the most high. That's how you get it done, fam. All that other stuff, forget it. Your religions, forget about it. They lie till you scrap it. And as for black folks, this is it. Here's the blueprint. I'm gonna share this without any bias but to the Negro. This is who you truly are. You are Hebrew Israelites. And when Jacob and his, matter of fact, when the Hebrews were in Egypt, they wasn't sent in there to carry out the judgment that if they broke the covenant. Let's see what Genesis 15, verse 13 says. But like I said, my foundation is that this Genesis 15 is talking about the Negroes today you see in captivity. That's been in captivity for 400 plus years. That happened to them, and we know Deuteronomy 28 in a list of curses. You have the blessings, then you have the curses. I might need to pull my Bible up, get more illustrated, but we just as efficient with the book. Deuteronomy 28, 45. Moreover, even these, verse 40, thou shalt begat sons, 41. Thou shalt begat sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. See, we read that and just gloss over that. Now, there's not a nation or a group of people on the face of this earth right now that you can say without a shadow of a doubt that happened to as a nation. The entire nation uprooted and still don't know who they are today. They learning and coming too, but I can say of an assurity that it don't apply to nothing that I see outside of the so-called Negroes. I know that for a fact. So let's move on. 42. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Verse 45. This way it hit homes because you will see, even in today with what's going on out here with, okay, you constantly hearing about things happening, and they happening to a particular group of people, but at the same time, it's not a conspiracy or none of that. We just seeing signs. We ain't conspiring to do nothing, or that don't mean nobody else can be saved by God, or none of these, all that bull crap we've been fed. It don't matter who you are. You read this book and you coming before His Majesty and truth, pouring your heart out to Him, and you sincere about it on a daily basis. You putting that work in and you being honest about it. That's between you and Him. Because can't nobody down here condemn you to nothing. Can judge you, yeah, because the saints gonna judge. Yes, the saints will be judged, even the angels. That's what the book teaches. I didn't say it. The book teaches, but there are instructions on even how to do that. Now, I know Christ said, judge not, that ye be not judged. For with that same judgment you judge, you're going to be whacked too. That means if you doing something and here you run around trying to accuse the next person, but you doing the same thing, you're a hypocrite. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. Verse 46. This is the clincher. This is the foundation. I can't look past that. Once I read that, I was stuck. Like, okay, you got to do some readjusting. We're going to have to sit back down, go back over everything we know, and pay close attention, because there are signs that's pointing to what you're looking for, where you can discover the truth is out there. You don't have to wait to go to church. You don't have to go to no special Bible school. You don't got to be in no special group or none of that. That's between you and the Most High. Let it be according to your faith. If you believe, you know what it is. Press in. And let them people tell you otherwise. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. A lot of all that you shall be these curses. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters. That was a curse that you released on yourself. The Most High didn't do nothing. We like to say that, well, the Most High cursed us. No, he didn't. Your ancestors was disobedient. That's what happened. And you got to understand, Genesis 15, verse 13. This applies to the Negro. And I'm going to prove this. The word is going to prove it. And it's been right here. Minus all the contention. And it's beautiful when you can come before on your platform and come before the world and be able to freely do this. I don't care about who leave a message. Who leave a message or say something later. I can care less. And if you catch me in traffic, you're going to get this word. I'm going to run down on you like Judah for real with this word. You dig? With the patience of King David. David went through a lot, and he was anointed king. But he didn't assume his position yet or go to pursue it out of being hasty. No, he followed the instruction. Genesis 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Family, when I heard that right there, let me show you what arrested me. Let me share with you what arrested me. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety, without a shadow of a doubt, because it's questionable when other groups saying what's written in the judgment for breaking the covenant, that they went through that. And as an entire nation, no, they do not have them signs on. We don't talk about them. We don't read about no history books of them doing nothing other than what the Jewish people went through, because they are they own the movie theaters, they own publishing companies. Not that you can't, but they own that, and they push that, so you'll always remember that. Steven Spielberg always pushed the movies to remind you. I didn't say nothing wrong with it, but I'm telling you. So as it relates to the truth. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So that happened to the Negroes. You have that sign on you and your children, and it's been on us forever. Where else does it come from? It doesn't come from man's playbook. It comes from the word of God, so that makes you his people. And that, when you hear me say African, it's not in the sense that I'm saying you're a Hamite. And I don't have no argument with the Hamites, because that I know the Negroes are Shemites. Our land is the middle of the earth. That little old portion they call the promised land, that's just that's barely a 1. That's probably a 0.3. It's way more land than that. It's dang near all Saudi Arabia. You got a lot of Egypt, and up in Ethiopia and down under Ethiopia, family, all the way up to parts of Foot's land, which is North Africa, going up to the Gaza and all the way up to Turkey, then down to Iraq, up and through that area where Abraham was called out of his what? His native land. That's the middle of the earth. That's the Negroes. That's where we come from. We the Asiatic people. That's us. And I know the British, well, the German, the English came in and they did a lot of remixing, but it's the fact of the matter. I just watched the sister. She was speaking the language over there in China, and they were surprised. But I'm like, I left a message on there. I wouldn't be surprised, because before the British came over there, they looked like her. Until everywhere the British went, when they left, people looked And they didn't leave. They occupied. People look different. That's a fact. I'm not being prejudiced or racist. It's a fact. So even within that, they're showing you the signs. You know that the people will get above his people. Why? Because his people will be in a state because of the judgment that they released against themselves. That don't mean you're gonna be there forever, family. But you have those signs on you. Like you see yourself thriving, people quick tell you, oh, you can get a job, you can get this, you can get that, and you can change your situation. But the fact of the matter is you still don't have land. You still don't have a government to protect you when these other nations who are doing what they doing, lynching, burning. They used to have lynch parties. Stop playing. They announced it across the radio. It was a formal gathering. You know, it was normal to them. I'm not gonna normalize that when I'm reading about in the book when God tells me these things will happen to you. And these things will happen to you by your enemy. That's why I got a thing with those on the corner. That's why I don't follow no groups. I'm on the most high to the day I die. You know what I'm saying? Can't no group tell me who I am or who I ain't. I don't care what them niggas talking about, nigga. Stop playing. I'm keeping it a buck. They're my brothers, but any nigga talking about you ain't a Israelite because you don't follow this or that, nigga, I'm from the streets. Them sound like war words. I will meet you with with that same energy in the affirmative, bro. I don't back down to no nigga when it come to this. That same mentality I had when I was in the gang running with GDs, that's the same mentality I got right now in the awakening, understanding that we are God's chosen people, and that means there's things that I have to do. Ain't it? Hey, I find it. Ain't that rather ironic? Here's God's people. Let me go get my dictionary. I don't want to be using it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna pull my book out. We're gonna pull the Bible out because we're gonna get busy here. I'm gonna turn this off. I can make that print tomorrow or later. I can come back about 9 o'clock. Make that print, then go take out some other stuff. Let me pull my Bible dictionary up. Ironic. Let's see what that means. Dang on. Don't play with me. Ironic. Let's see what that joint means. Meaning, I find it rather ironic, you know? Because no of a surety. And then here's the killing part. We go over in Genesis. Let's read that. I just read 15, 13, and 14. He told them to know of a surety, right? That these ironic. What does that mean? Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Let's see what they say. Relating to, containing, or constitute. The irony of a thing. When I'm reading the Bible, we've been taught that with Gentiles, all the same people and this and that. But isn't it ironic that when I read the Bible, God says there will be signs on the people, and you will know them because they will be on them and their children forever. Who's the butt nation of everybody's joke? Who's the butt of all the nation's jokes? Black people who hate. What nation is hated and despised of all other nations? Black people. Who always trying to challenge when we tell you? Like the people in that little old land, they talking about the promised land. That's our ancestors' land. It was black people over there. Oh no, every time they say something else talking about black people. It's a fact, family. It's a fact, Jack. Them was black people. I can't, it's nothing I could do about that. People, no, that's not prejudice or racism. Blue Letter Bible. Let me pull my blue letter up so we can get to it. I need to send Blue Letter a donation too. Because them Bibles, if you know how to use your Bible, you know, that's when it get good. A lot of us don't know how to use the Bible. I use the Bible to literally answer questions and to search for truth, for the knowledge of the truth, the real truth from the foundation the Most High gave us. Yeah. Go in there. Genesis 15. Now let's get it. We won't be on here too long. It's been 30 minutes. What he tell Abraham? Pay attention to the words, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And he said unto 18, verse 13, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. Hold up. Genesis 15, let's go Genesis 45. Because remember now, this is the killer. This is what kills any naysayers. They're saying that's not talking about the Negroes today. Oh, that happened to the people of the past. That's not talking about today. It don't matter. No, pump your brakes. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You're not speaking from a biblical perspective. You speaking from a seminary, worldly perspective. Because what the Bible specifically expresses is that, let's deal with it. Genesis 45. Jacob and his sons were not. They were sent for by Pharaoh to go down into Egypt. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt. Genesis 15 said a strange land. You did? And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger. So you telling me the Hebrews were strangers in Africa? That's where you can kill yourself. Because they were strangers in Africa. Remember, even before Abraham, and thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. It didn't happen to the Jewish people. Nope. They ruling. Why they talking about some we don't own this, own that? Man, stop playing. Whatever you own, that's your business. I'm not using it against you. I don't care. What God has for me, He has for me. I'm not trying to be Jewish. I'm not trying to deny that Jewish people are Jewish people. I'm a Hebrew. Hold on. I'm a Hebrew family. You don't got nothing to do with no Jewish. All that arguing y'all hearing them brothers and sisters out there doing, man, I would disregard all that. The truth of the matter, we are God's people, but we're Hebrews. We are not no Jewish people. Leave the Jewish people alone. Let the Jewish people do what they do. If you had control of a lot of stuff and doing your thing, you wouldn't want nobody messing with you in your house. So leave the Jewish people alone. Shit. Whatever they doing, if it's right or wrong, it ain't right, then don't mess with it. You recognize what's not right, don't deal with it. But let's not make a life out of it. Every day, that's what we're talking about. Like, I got business to handle. Let's do business. What kind of business you offer? Do any black people own any T-shirt manufacturing facilities where you create the T-shirts from scratch that I could plug in and buy my T-shirt supplies from you? Do we have any of those companies around? That's what I'm focused on. Cause I'm trying to win. I know I'm trying to win. Shit, we gonna win. You dig? Things is changing. Things are changing in our favor for the right, for the good. It's not gonna go back to what it was. We're changing the narrative through the truth. Then Joseph could not refrain himself for all. What? Genesis 45. Okay. Joseph dealt kindly with his brothers. This is the killer here. To any doubt that when the Most High told Abraham his descendants were serve a nation for 400 years, to the fact of the matter, even to the Europeans, so you'll know I'm speaking to anybody that hear this video, it's going to come across this video. The Bible is talking about the Negroes today. That's why they're going what they're going through here. And this is the time of your spiritual awakening to learn the truth. So you can pump your brakes, Jim Shoe. Come out of the world and return to your calling. You are God's chosen people. That's greater than any lottery ticket or any uh, educational discipline or whatever. We are God's chosen people, family. Why you saying that, Wayne? They have no. When Jacob and his 11 sons, actually, they were called to go down into Egypt. Let's get it. Something ain't right here. Genesis 45. Go to Genesis 46. Something ain't right. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Isaac. Verse 2 is chapter 46. And Elohim spake unto Israel. It's Jacob. Remember in Genesis 32, he changed his name to Israel. Why? To signify that's his chosen. So Hebrews, you got to remember that and understand. You're not the only ones going into the kingdom of Israel. You just happen to be his first seed, his first love. You, the first son. And it's your place to point others to the kingdom, to teach others about him and love. We know you got the power, but if that's all you trying to execute, people gonna run from you. And they gonna feel you acting like Solomon. Remember the elders of Israel asked Solomon. They were down in Jerusalem. That's Judah. He came from the tribe. They come from Judah. Judah was ruling over. Because why? Judah represents Jacob, the Shemites. These are the bloodline of the Hebrews. But they were chosen by the God of Israel to represent the kingdom. The kingdom. And we don't worship in all those buildings and all that stuff people try to put you in. No, that confines the Spirit of the Father. He gave us a temple. And it came with instructions because there were things going on in there. And that place housed holies of holies in it. You know what I'm saying? The covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was in there. It ain't in no synagogues, and in no churches. Stop playing. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. Who is Jacob? These are the Shemites. And they are represented in the Negroes today. That's a fact. No religion, no conversion, none of that. And he said, here I am. I'll teach your preaching. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not. This is what you got to get. This is God. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. This is God dealing with Jacob. Jacob is consecrating himself to the Most High and giving an offering, showing his gratitude, his humility and love and steadfastness towards the Most High. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jake. His name's Jacob. Y'all got to excuse me. Sometimes we get a little hood with it. Jacob. And he said, here I am. Verse 3. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt. So God is telling Jacob, you going down, you're going to go to Egypt, but when you go there, do not fear. That don't sound like a strange land. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger. There wasn't no strangers in Egypt. Egypt rolled out the red carpet from the door from their father, Jacob, and his 11 sons. But all the while, his son Joseph was ruling Egypt. Do that sound like a strange place? So that doesn't fulfill Genesis 15, verse 13. Know of a surety. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger. They're not strangers there. Joseph is actually ruling. And because of the wisdom Joseph was utilizing, which was from the culture of the Hebrews, he used the system from the culture of the Hebrews. The planting and harvesting, plant 6 years, let the land rest on the 7 year. Remember, he told Pharaoh, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and he told Pharaoh, you're going to have 6 good years of planting, and you're going to have 7 bad years. You're going to have 6 good years of planting and 6 bad years. You know what I'm saying? And he did have that. So, anyway, they didn't go. That's not why they were sent in there. They went under the pretense of fulfilling what we reading and learning right here in Genesis 46. Why nobody ever took the time to show us that, I don't know. I don't understand why. But right now, this is the awakening, and this is where we at, and it's all good. That's why I'm excited. That's why I say it's an exciting time to be alive. And man, I wouldn't ask for a more better, a thorough understanding than what I'm getting now. Y'all just don't know how y'all don't know just how. I'll be right back, y'all. Hold on. Let me get out the way. Let me get out the way so I can holler at you. I should have went in the bathroom. It's quiet. You ain't gotta hear all that bullshit in your background while you're doing your video. You can basically relax and get busy. Bathrooms are a good place, peace and quiet. You ain't got all that combustion, and then you living with people. People don't pay attention. I don't give a fuck about that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Genesis 46 solely expresses the Most High and Him giving Jacob the green light. Jacob, don't fear going into Africa. Oh, it's on. You need to holler at your crazy ass uncle, man. That's the motherfucker gonna have you laughing on everything. That nigga crazy. Used to have us out there on the block just gone. Fuck wrong with them? He need to stop smoking, drinking them motherfucking, smoking them motherfucking weeds. That nigga crazy. Oh man, let me walk up here right quick, y'all. I'm getting too old. I don't know. I don't even remember why I was finna walk out here for some reason. I supposed to been sitting here making this print. Now tomorrow, I hope this guy changed his mind. I'm gonna show y'all some pictures of them cars though. You gotta see this HJ. That baby ready. Them cars ready.